Well, we might as well just have all eaten dinner together because it looks like that's what we're all doing.
Actually, I'm about to eat breakfast.
Oh, out to eat breakfast. Well, of course, yes. About to eat breakfast. That would make sense. So yeah, that's what we should be doing, is eating together. Hi, everyone. How are you doing? Good? Awesome. All right, so let's kick off with week 2. You guys ready? Yeah? Remember last week we did our gratitude, right? What was it? The grace of gratitude, the face of gratitude, the space of gratitude. So what we're going to do now is, again, as always, we're going to hop into our warm-up ARTsignment. And the first thing that I invite you to do is we're actually going to do a word collage around the word balance. So you're just going to take your page, write with the word balance really big right in the middle, and then fill your page with phrases or words or doodles or shapes that come to mind when you think of balance. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to play with this, balance. Feel free to use different colors, write some big, write some small, turn your page upside down, turn it around, just fill all the space. You have about a minute left. And bring that to a close, at least for now. You can always come back to it later. All right, and so for our next step, you can either incorporate this into the word collage that you've already started, or you can start a new page. It's up to you. We're going to write an acrostic poem. That's the one where each line begins with one of the letters. So you're going to write a poem where the first line begins with the letter B, the second line begins with the letter A, the third line begins with the letter L, etc. for B-A-L-A-N-C-E. The lines can be one word, or they can be long, they can be any length. Okay, and you can incorporate that into this piece, or you can start a new piece, either one. And I'll check in with you in like 4 minutes. If your poem goes quick, and it might, go back to decorating and embellishing your word collage. I'll say one other thing. In this 4 minutes after you're done with your poem, you can either embellish your word collage, or if you like, you can actually illustrate your poem. Just whatever feels like it's coming up. And continue. And we'll just say 30 more seconds with whatever you're doing right now, and then I'll check in and tell you what's next. All right, just bring that to a close. So I'm going to send you off on your merry way now. Here are a couple of things that you might do. You might continue with your poem. You might continue writing or illustrating. You might pick one phrase that pops out from your poem or your word collage. Or you might pick any aspect of balance. You might ask a question of balance and then see how your art chooses to answer. So you're exploring balance through art, through the piece that you'll create. You'll have 50 minutes, and I'll let you know when we're halfway through. And if you're not sure, I would say pick one phrase or one shape with what you've started and just start playing with it. Pick a phrase, a word, a question, and just start moving images, moving your pen, anything you like. Remember, you don't have to know what you're creating. You might not know until you're done, and you still might even not know then. All right? So I will send you off. Carol, were you able to hear what we did? I'll type to you. Okay, I'll let you know when we're halfway through, all right? Have fun. All right, it's sharing time. Who would like to begin and take us into your balance journey? Linda.
Mute. Okay. Yeah. So unmute microphone.
You're good.
Yeah, it's just that there was a big sign right in the middle and I couldn't see.
Oh, okay.
So I just kept it really simple. Somehow the poem that came through, I really liked it. And when we did the word collage, this whole notion of being at the still point came really clearly. Like there was that place that wasn't here or there. And so I just turned the art piece, into a poem. Like I say, I just decided to keep it really simple. I'll read it to you. So it says, before chaos and confusion, let in the pause and that still point at the center. Not one thing or another, centered, ready to choose, entering the heart space, knowing wisdom, seeing all sides. So it just felt really.
Oh, wonderful. Will you hold it up again now that you've read the poem?
It just, I just decided to write that out.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
So is that right side up for you guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Good.
Yeah, it always is. It looks backwards to us, but it's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, it's wonderful. I
Yeah.
love it.
Thank you for that.
Gorgeous.
I like looking through.
Love it. Who will share next? Dawn. Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I never know how this works. All right. Yeah. So I also kind of loved my poem, so I went with that as well. So I wrote the poem first, and then I started with the doodling as usual. So I'll just read the poem. It says, "Bring now all things together. See how it dances with delight, allowing space for flow and fun foundations free. Leave behind what is no more needed. Open, open, open. Accept what has been waiting there. Now and here, see the dancer in an open field. Create your world and begin anew, entering into the place of elevation, lifting the cup with both arms raised." So what's interesting is, Marnie, when you said balance, I was like, no!
Yeah.
It's like the one of the principles that I have the biggest challenge with, and so I resist it. And so what I did was, instead of resisting it, I like went with these images in my poem that were all about freedom, right? And I just kind of went off on this thing. And so then I took my word collage and drew this butterfly. It was like all boxed in, you know, and I didn't like that. I made a big butterfly around it, and then I started playing with that idea of dances with delight, and I wrote balance births the butterfly. And then I was like, okay, done with that. So I'm all over the place tonight. Then I did this another doodle, because all I have is watercolors really to work with. So I did this thing, which I started, this is, you know, I guess me, started with this idea of I don't know where that came from. Balance is the place of elevation. It just, I kept thinking that's not right, but then I was like, I just went with it. So I drew, I wrote balance is the place of elevation, and this is the foundation, a foundation of fun and free to be me. And then this little red ball is significant because I struggle with balance, and I always think, keep my eye on the ball, keep my eye on the red ball. What's the red ball right now, Dawn? You know, because I get easily distracted. And so it's funny that I incorporated the red ball, but like all these other, like here's the kite, and it says, poised for possibility, it dances with delight. And I wrote happy and free. And then over here is allowing space for flow. So I just loved it. I don't know what this is saying to me, but it feels important. So yeah, that's it.
I love it. I love it. Oh,
Yeah,
it's great.
Thank you.
So cool. Oh, this is fabulous. All right, who would like to share next?
I'll share.
Colleen.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Kathy, you'll be next.
That's fine. Okay. So I graduated from kindergarten to whatever. I bought some crayons.
Look at you.
As I said, I've never drawn or done anything. So this is why it was really fun to go buy that. Anyway, so.
That's awesome.
So I had this little thing that said, born a loving and nurturing, carefree eccentric.
Ooh.
And I had a little cloud that said, stay true to yourself and do not forget who you are. Right there. So this is my artwork right there. It's a beginning. I'm pretty happy. And then I finally did another little piece right here. And it says, before I met you and realized how much love was part of balance, awakening in my own beauty was never as breathtaking as feeling the comfort of your sweet embrace.
Oh. That's
Just
wonderful.
Just written with different colors. That's my big jump into the art world. There you go. So
Yes. Fabulous. Yay.
there you go. I mean, we have what, 3 more classes or 4?
Oh no, we have 7 more.
Really?
Yeah, there are 9. This is only our 2nd, right?
Oh my God.
Start jumping.
Well, I sweat every time, so I don't know what's going to happen. 5 more classes.
That's great. That is great. I love it. Welcome colors. Welcome colors. Who knows what's going to happen next week? Woo!
There you go. That's the spirit.
That's the spirit. All right. Kathy, why don't you go next?
Sure. I also, when you said the word balance at the beginning, I was like, oh, I hate that word too. There's something, so my word map that I did tended to be a little more negative in the sense of, I think balance is a woman's issue. It's about change. I wrote down, it's really, it's nirvana, but is it really achievable? So I was kind of being a little negative on that side. But when I went to the poem, when you asked us to write the poem, then it all just became about myself. And I think when I was younger, if you'd asked me to talk about balance, I would have probably been thinking about balance between work and your, home life kind of thing. But as a retired person now, it's a different thing. So anyway, what I wrote was being one with myself, always staying centered and grounded, loving each moment as it comes, attending to my needs as well as those around me. No one way to reach for the life I want or aspire to. Continuously checking with heart, head, and soul. Evolving every day, knowing balance changes in every season in this journey called life. So after I wrote that, what I really started thinking about was where I wrote continuously checking with my heart, my head, and my soul. That's where I think in this stage of my life, when I think about balance, that's what I'm trying to balance. It's not about work and home and kids and everything. It's really just being centered with myself. So of course, I was painting because I love to play with paint. So what I started with, I don't know if you can see that, but I first originally just drew a heart and a circle and a triangle. And I was like, okay, I guess they're balanced. But then I started painting. So for spirit, for me, for some reason, the color blue always represents spirit to me. It just feels light and airy, and I always feel soothed by blue. So I collaged my triangle, and then the head in the middle is I pulled a dictionary apart and just put in words, because head's all about words, talking, common sense. And then the heart is some paper I found that I really loved, and I made my heart. So it's not finished, but what was coming out of it was my spirit. I started painting after I did the collage. I started painting blue going up. It's like it was surrounding it all. And the heart, it was the paint coming down. So I don't know where the head fits at the moment as far as colors go, but I really just realized that when I feel centered, when I feel balanced, all 3 of those things need to be there. My heart, my soul, and my head all have to be balanced. So that's what I worked with today. And I'll finish it during the week.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Wow, beautiful.
And the nice thing is, last week when we talked about gratitude and grace, and I had worked on a page in my journal, and I didn't finish it, but I finished it during the week, but I spent the rest of the week thinking about gratitude and grace. All week, it was always in the forefront, and during the week, I finished the page, and it was kind of like, that's what I meditated on. So this week, I guess I'm meditating on balance.
Yeah. Well, it's nice that, one of the great things about ARTsignments, not only does it allow us to explore a topic and kind of explore it in a different way, but at the end we have something to look at to remind us, so it doesn't just kind of go away in the background. We can take whatever it is we've made, including our poem with different colors, we can put it up in front of us so we see it and it becomes part of our space and we interact with it. And that really, for me, is where these ARTsignments all started, was because I was finding that, you know, I'd take a class or read a book and I'd get really inspired, but then it would just be gone. You know, I would, you know, just get so untethered so quickly. And so by having something that's tangible, it's like a quick, like, oh, you know, I see that on my bedside or the mirror, or I see it, and it just, something about it takes us back there. So I love that you're actively reflecting on it. And, you know, even if we just have these pieces in our space, even if we're not stopping to think and reflect, you know, they're still part of our energy during the week, which is awesome.
For sure.
Great. All right, who's next to share? Angie? I think you have to unmute yourself.
Unmute myself?
Yep.
Did I do that? Okay.
You're good.
Well, I'm missing the big picture. I just see the little ones. I don't know what happened, but can you see?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is my word poem, and you know, balance is really hard for me. And so one way I try to bring myself down and ground myself is I letter. I do calligraphy. So I tried to make the word balance balanced. And then I started just writing words that came to mind. It's probably my weakest principle. But, and I really didn't know how to do a poem. I'm not very good at writing like that. So I just started writing words like an acronym. And then I kind of made them blend into one another at each line. So I went with be beautifully present. This is like me. I'm talking about me. It's all about me. Beautifully present and alert and loving to myself and others. My actions are noble, bringing peace and a calming and captivating nature and essential to my freedom. And I guess it was just, I needed to do this for me to remind myself that I need to be more balanced and not so much for family or so much for work. I just have to make sure that there's always that little area that I can feel it's okay. So from this, I decided to do more lettering. So I found a balanced verse from the Bible, and I wanted to balance the poem on the page. And I think I did that, but it felt really good to do it. And I was just trying to alternate the weights of the letters and the feel of the words. Would you like me to read it?
Please do. Please do.
Okay. So be well balanced, in parentheses, temperate, sober of mind. Be vigilant and cautious at all times. For that enemy of yours, the devil, roams around like a lion, roaring in fierce hunger, seeking someone to seize upon and devour.
Wow.
So, I don't know, this just kind of spoke to me. And then I started writing the word balance and on this paper, and it started to bleed, and it didn't look balanced to me. So then I got a different piece of paper, and I wrote that, and it felt like balance is time and energy. It's a kind of, they're like three balls in the air, but they're all equal. So, and that's what I did for today.
Awesome. You did so much. You're
Really?
so expansive.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
I was like trying to, what else can I do?
That's so cool. That is so cool.
Thank you.
Awesome. I love everything.
Thank
That
you.
last thing is gorgeous. The
Really?
lettering on that is stunning. Oh my gosh.
Help me monetize it. No.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
It's gorgeous. All right, Donna, would you like to share next?
No, 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 I would not.
That's fine.
I'm having kind of a bad day, and this just kind of, I just kind of work through that, and I don't want to be a downer, so no, thank you.
Okay, you don't have to, and just feel a lot of love from us here. All right. Yeah. I hope that you can keep working through what you're working through. A lot of love. All right, anyone else? Carol?
There we go. Now, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. I'm on my iPad tonight, which is a little weird to me. But anyway, so I was a little off balance because I was out walking the dog when we started. So I decided to go to the dictionary and simply look up what is balance and what is in the dictionary, just to see if there were some different things that I hadn't thought about. And balance is a noun, and balance is also a verb. So that was fun. And there were lots of different things there. And then it started to morph into something I might, this way, keep playing with, which is sort of like a little family tree kind of thing. So the noun over here, it's a thing. Balance can be a thing, and it can be an action. So things in action was kind of an interesting thought as I was looking through that. And which way? Backwards. There's everything from weight distribution that we think of to the relative volume of different parts in music. I'm a musician, so that's the balance of the choir and the orchestra or whatever. That's something I deal with all the time. Balancing your accounts and your money, credits and debits kind of thing. The harmony of design and art, stability of mind and emotion, and equal proportions of things. And then the balance works, balance wheel in a clock, in an old-fashioned clock. That was interesting to me. Then over in the action side, it was staying steady, putting something in a position where it can be steady, established, what was that? I can't read my writing. Establish the proportions in a piece of art, making the credit and debit equal on a balance sheet. The money in the account is your balance, and comparing values. So I think there's something really interesting that I'll keep playing with on that. It sort of tied together a bunch of things I hadn't really said, oh yeah, those are all balance. Those are all different kinds of balance, and not just balancing going to work in the grocery store and walking the dog and those kinds of things. So,
Right.
yeah.
Will you hold it up again, just the visual? I'm so struck by that visual. It's so balanced.
Yeah, if I can balance where the camera actually is. There we go. That's
Yeah,
good.
we got it. It reminds me of a mobile, you know,
Yeah.
It looks like a mobile to me. Like
Yeah.
I'm really intrigued by that.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I love it.
It sort of reminded me of a family tree. I thought it was going to be like a flow chart too, but it didn't quite turn out that way. So,
Well, and I love this idea of taking a word and then the noun and the verb. Like that, I mean, that would be such a fun thing to do with, you know, with so many different things, right? And I don't know, that just seems really fun.
it's in the dictionary. There
I
we
may
go.
have to try it. That's awesome. That is awesome. Did everybody share? Shall I share mine? So I really got on the kick of the poems. I just kept writing them. So wait, I don't want to rename myself. Hold on, I want to spotlight my video, and I clicked rename. I don't need to rename myself. Okay, so this was what I did, and I wrote a lot of poems, and they're all acrostics, and I just kept going, and I just was writing really fast, and some of them made sense and some of them didn't. I started writing, and then I'd sort of doodle, and then I'd add more to sort of help kind of balance it. And it's interesting, it's all on these three little balls down here. Anyway, I'll read some of them. They're all really different. Some of them are sort of negative, and some of them are more weird. I don't know. Let's see, I'll read a few of them. Being in balance, always a lapse, an ideal, not a credo for excellence. Bend and lean and never clutch ego. Belly alive, live and nurture a child. Exhale. Beauty in balance, asymmetry in all. Love the lift, an acrobatic dance. Now, how do I continue to dance in my ecology? Behaviors are stubbornly lingering. A choice is not easy. Create the entrance. But what is balance? Ask someone and then listen. Each answer is the nod of a sparrow, crisply undetectable, elegant, and undefined. Should I keep reading? I have a few more. Should I read a few more? Okay. Bring a rose, allow the scent, listen for a sharp sigh. A long time ago, a thorn needed clipping. Compost back to the Mother of Earth. Here's one that was just individual words. Bottom, always lies down, and it needs clever exits. I don't know what that means. Oh, this one was kind of cool. This was about those three little balls down at the bottom. I said, balls stacked atop one another. Now there are three. Look, the letters escaped to create their own order. So I realized that I got my balance letters all out of order, and then that ended up being the poem. And that was kind of my favorite one, that like the poem found its balance by letting itself get out of order and then kind of calibrate it. So anyway, those are a few of them. I did more, but that was it was just really fun and just really meditative to just write, and I really enjoyed it and had a lot of fun, and I'm really glad that you guys were with me. So I know a lot of you like to go off your video when you're working, and that's totally fine, and I completely respect it. But I love just having, when the video's there, I personally just love like looking up and just seeing that somebody else is, cutting with scissors or playing with paint or staring out at the ceiling. So, I encourage you, if you're comfortable, keep your video on because it just feels really cozy, and I love that. Any comments before we wrap? All right, next week, same time, same place. Yeah, Linda.
Well, I would love to get these written from people.
Yeah, so
some of these were really lovely.
Well, this particular class, we don't have a guidebook, and we don't, we don't have
I know,
a workbook or so maybe the best way to do it is, if you're willing to share, to just type it in the chat box, or if there's somebody that you would, like to, I'm happy to facilitate if you want to, reach out to me and I can put you in contact with somebody. I don't know. Well, I'm open to it. However it, if anybody has any ideas, however it evolves. So it's something we can sort of muse.
Yeah, I know we have the videos each time, but to like go back and watch the whole thing and pull that out, I'm probably not going to do that, you know? So it just, what we create is so cool often.
Yes.
It's nice to have a way to do that.
Yeah, Angie, what were you going to say?
Is there a way to post them on the website on Artella?
We could in the past. There have been times in the past where I mean years ago where Wonderland had its own little spot, and then it just ended up being, I think, more of something to to upkeep that really wasn't used. And then
Right.
when when I actually ended up, nobody really used it, and so I think it ended up feeling more like a should for people.
Yeah.
But one thing we can do chat transcripts. So that's something, that we can do is if there's something that we'd like to share, that's easy to type in. I can certainly share chat transcripts if that's.
You mean this chat form here? Oh, yeah.
So that might be something. So maybe in the future, if there's something that you feel like you'd like to, and somebody asked me that last week, if I could share the chat transcript, because Barb had been mentioning a couple of apps, and she wanted to know what those were. And so I thought, well, I should just start sharing chat transcripts. So maybe if we know that that's the case, if there's something like a poem that we'd like to share,
okay.
Or even make a request. If you hear something, you could even say, oh, I'd love to have that in the chat if you're willing to share it.
That sounds good. Yeah.
That a good sort of.
Seems easiest.
Yeah, I think so. So let's actually just take a moment, and if anybody has a poem that you'd like to share in chat, we can just do that. You can sign off whenever you like, but if you have a poem that you'd like to type in chat, hold on, I think one issue, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, the only issue is that when you press enter, it will, you know what I'm saying? It will go ahead. So wait, hold on. Let me see.
You can't make lines.
Yeah, but what if you
shift like in Facebook?
Hold on. Yeah, maybe that's it. Hold on. Let me see what it does. Okay, so if I type it elsewhere and then copy paste, that works. And then, yes, the shift enter works as well. So if you're going to make new lines for your poem, just press shift and enter like Facebook, and that'll keep it from otherwise that would create a whole new poem if we were all typing one line of a poem, and it would mix them all up.
I think once you end the meeting, we can't do it.
Yeah, no, I'm going to keep it open. So I'll keep if anybody wants to write a poem, put it in the thing, and I'll keep the chat open as long as there's somebody typing there. Okay?
Is anybody else interested in doing that, or is it just me?
I will. I'll put mine in if you want to hear mine.
Yeah, I just thought they were so beautiful today. I mean, they always are, but we did so much writing.
We did do a lot of writing. All right, well, I'll go ahead and say goodbye, but if you'd like to type in a poem, please do. And we'll see you next week.
All right. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
No, that didn't work.
I know, mine didn't work either.
It is, but it's going in there now.
Yeah.
So type it separately and then.
Oh, and then paste it in.
Yeah, see if that works. That's sort of funny.
Yeah.
thinking to work, right?
Yes.
Is anybody still typing away? I just wanted to check. Oh, good. Colleen got hers. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So I'll send a chat transcript.
Great.
Awesome. All right. Thanks. Are we complete for now? Yeah, Angie? Angie's not listening anymore. She's off creating something else. Bye, Angie. Bye, everybody. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.